But let's start with your names and which films are yours.
My name is Adrian, and I did Peaches and Scream.
My name is Rangse, and I'm the director of Talisman.
My name's Angela. I'm the producer of Talisman.
All right. So yeah, let's. Where did the concepts, idea, original kernel of these films come from? Yeah, Talisman first.
Yeah, for sure. So growing up, my parents were really superstitious. My dad would like go around the house and start splashing water in every room and also onto my face. And I would go to the washroom and there would be onions everywhere. Like in every room there would be an onion. Under the bed would be an onion. And it was from my mom, and I didn't really understand why. And then I asked her, and she said, "Oh, it's because the onions suck out the bad energy." And I'm like, "Where did you like learn that?" And she's like, "Oh, you know, I'm in some Facebook group chats, so that's really credible." And our aunt does it too, so she follows it. And then my dad, I asked my dad, and you know, his answer would be like, "You know, that's your mom's business. Just ask her." So I feel like growing up, there's a lot of back and forth between my mom having these superstitious beliefs and then me trying to decide who I should believe in. And then on top of that, it was like a couple months before we even started writing the script, and I was on Reddit and I saw this post of this Japanese guy living alone. I think he was about 70, and at night he would hear these strange noises. So one night he set up a video camera, and when he checked the footage in the morning, he realized that there was a woman crawling out of the cabinet every single night getting food out of his fridge. And he called the police, and they realized that she's been living there for the past 7 months. So I was just trying to, that story really resonated with me, and I felt like I couldn't go to the washroom at night for a couple of days. So I just combined those two things.
Bathroom onions. If you know, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the idea originated with just a friend of mine's little brother asking why they didn't stuff humans. And then I kind of forgot about it, and until I came here at Nifty, and I was partying at someone you might know's parents' house called Hadley, and they have two really big dolls on their couch.
That is true.
And and I just kind of remember that idea. And I think I didn't really find out what the film was about before it was finished, unfortunately. So yeah, that's a shame I didn't really get to. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm curious, so I've heard a lot of different, just with, you know, we are in a pandemic, right? I'm curious, like, development process for your films, because I've heard some people, they're like, yeah, I made it in a weekend still, and some they're like, it's stretched to 2 full years because time is meaningless now. And so I'm curious for both films, like, how long was the full development process from idea to finished film?
Right. Well, Angela and I met in first year at Ryerson in Canada, and for a minute we've been talking about making like films and stuff like that. And I was actually supposed to go to Korea to do a couple music videos there because I come from like a music video background. And I dropped out of school, was ready for Korea, and then COVID hit, everything got canceled. And then I found myself stuck in Toronto, and I think that's when it hit me that I'd been doing so many music videos, and I never even wanted to do music videos in the first place. I kind of just fell into it. So it was like a good opportunity for me to start doing narrative. So Angela and I started a crowdfunder, Kickstarter, and we raised the funds over the past couple months. And then it was kind of difficult because one thing that happened was that the lady who was in the closet, we actually had another actress. And in that scene, she's like strangling the kid, and they're really close in proximity. And right before we filmed that scene, someone went up to me and they're like, "Oh, Rangse, like I heard that there's rumors that she might be an anti-masker, and that she hasn't gotten her shot or anything like that." And prior to that, we sent out these forms saying like, "Oh, you need to make sure that you sign off that you wear a mask and you get your COVID shot." And then I pulled her aside. Well, first we had a meeting, and we were like, okay, what the fuck do we do? Like, this is crazy. This is like the last scene of the day. We already shot one scene with her crawling in the background in the living room. And then we're like, you know what? Like, rumors are rumors. We should probably just go up to her and ask politely, you know, we heard these rumors. What's up? And I went up to her, and then I was like, oh, I heard you're anti-masker, blah, blah, blah. She's like, yes. She's like, yeah, yeah, 100%.
You heard right.
Yes, exactly. And then I was like, okay, that's fine, but you know, you have to leave because the mother's uncomfortable with, you know, you being close to the son. And then she just started.
She threw a tantrum, basically, and she started calling us names and
Yeah.
like threw her shirt on like the cars that were like parked in front of the set. And
Yeah, and she was just like, you guys are never gonna work in the film industry. I'm gonna tell everyone about you. You'll never work again in your life. And then after that, we had like a big group meeting,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, you know, we found out that, you know, she's, you know, the way she is. And because of that, it's now a safety hazard, so I understand if, you know, some of you guys don't want to come tomorrow and you just want to stay home. This was like peak COVID times, like March 2020. And the next day, everyone like pulled up. No one stayed back, and somehow we were able to find Pascal, who's the woman in the film.
Oh
and
yeah, that immediately after I found out, I just like worked my ass off and like searched for every like actor in Toronto that's like available and texted everyone. And thankfully, Pascal was able to pull up, and she did really well.
Yeah, and then we filmed it. Editing took like 2 months. The soundtrack took, I think, like 4 months. Grading took 1 month, and then I think, yeah, that was the process.
Nice.
Yeah, I shot this in 2018. So
Oh.
yeah, so it didn't really, COVID didn't exist. It was good times.
What a world.
I just had a bunch of problem in post-production. So I think the most it affected me was that when it finally was finished, I got COVID 2 days before the premiere. So this was the first time I was able to see it with a live audience, which was
All
nice.
right. Let's see. Any audience questions? Please, none about the anti-masker. Okay, yeah, right here. Okay, where'd you find a taxidermy baby in Peaches and Scream?
It was just some guy, like
What?
I think he had two.
Twins?
So we picked the one with the umbilical cord because we thought it was more nasty if it choked in its own umbilical cord.
I think that's correct. I think that is more nasty. Anybody else? Any other questions? How do you choose between identical taxidermy babies? What? Yeah, dead center. Okay, so naming process of your films, but then also, is there a non-English word for Peaches and Scream that translates?
It's called fleshless in Danish, which is sort of like the obvious thing, but it also is something you say when you are really honest about something. You're fleshlessly honest. So there's like a double meaning, and I was actually just gonna call it fleshless, but I was I almost missed the deadline to apply it to Nifty, and I hadn't thought of an English title, so I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, fleshless is the obvious choice, and then I said, but what about? Yeah, and me and my girlfriend, we just laughed, so we thought it was probably a better title.
Nice.
There's a talisman in the film. It's a pretty central. It's pretty central to plot.
Yeah,
And
and
I
our
was just-
Chinese title is like direct translation. Like Hu Shen Fu means talisman, literally.
Just makes sense. Yes, right here. Ooh, the meaning of the last shots of your films.
Yeah. So in the very first shot of the film, it's like 2 minutes. All the family members are gathered around in the bedroom, talking about like the black cat. And then the order in which they leave is the son. He leaves first, and then the dad leaves first, and then it's like the mom who's like left alone, and she's kind of like, you know, she's the one kind of like fighting for the family. And now in the very last shot, it's who leaves first, the mom who leaves second, and now it's the dad, and he's kind of like singled out, and it's kind of like signifying that like their relationship is probably not going to be the same again.
All right.
I think there's like first and foremost is the ick factor that is sort of icky. But I think it's also just like a fuck you to the dad and the family, which was, I thought, was the biggest fuck you that I could think about.
Hell yeah. Let's wrap it up on that. Biggest fuck you I could think about. Well, thanks so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for submitting your films. Everybody, wait, before, oh yeah, give them a round of applause. Yeah, not to cut that off.